morning, everyone. We've got 10 o'clock, and we're going to be getting started. I know we have people still joining us on the phone line. If you do join us on the phone line to ask questions during our question and answer session later in the webinar, you will need to unmute your phone at that time by pressing either *6 or #6. We ask that you keep your phones muted during the presentation portion to cut down on the background noise for everyone. So with that, I would like to get things rolling for you this morning. My name is Victoria Beal, and I'm the director of the LTAP Center here in Ohio. And we're very pleased to be hosting this webinar this morning, along with my co-presenters, who I will introduce here shortly. Just a few housekeeping items during the webinar. If you would like to ask questions without unmuting your phone line, you can pose a question using the chat pod located in the bottom left-hand corner or side of your screen. This is the pod where you already see 2 comments from myself, and everyone has the ability to type and pose questions or make statements in that pod. Also, if you haven't done so already and you do wish to do so, you can call in using the call-in information that's available in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. The call-in information will allow you to listen to the audio over your phone line, and then when we do get to the question and answer portion of our presentation, you'll be able to press *6 or #6 to unmute your phone line. With that, I would like to introduce the co-presenters this morning. We have Julie Walkoff, who is with the Ohio Department of Transportation. She's the Bicycle and Pedestrian and Safe Routes to School Program Manager. Also, we have Kate Menning, who's the Field Services Manager for the Ohio Safe Routes Network, Safe Routes to School National Partnership. And in lieu of giving their bios, I'm just going to ask them each to give you a little bit about their background before they begin their respective portions of the presentation. So with that, we're going to move right into Julie's portion of the presentation. So, Julie?
Hi, everybody. My name is Julie Walkoff, and as Victoria said, thank you, Victoria. I'm the Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Safe Routes to School Program Manager here at ODOT, and I've been with the program since the beginning for about 10 years, and we are very excited to introduce this new initiative, which we're calling the Safe Routes Academy. And it's been quite a while in the making, and I want to thank all of our partners for working so hard to make it happen. And judging by how many people registered for the webinar, it seems you guys were all waiting for it as well. So we have an initial slate of courses, and we've been developing them over the past few years. And in the near future, we're going to be enhancing this slate with some engineering-focused courses, such as bicycle and pedestrian facility design training and other courses like that. The courses we're going to be offering, they're for Safe Routes to School and wherever else you might want to go. So what I'm trying to say is they're not specifically only for Safe Routes to School. They're really safe routes for all, as we've been saying recently. And as we've learned, when you improve walking and biking for a school, it helps the entire community. So we're very fortunate to have Kate Menning, who also works with the Safe Routes to School National Partnership, as our first official instructor. And our internal partner, the Ohio Local Transportation Assistance Program, LTAP, which Victoria is a part of, they're going to be hosting the registration, scheduling, and tracking the progress of our trainings. And now Kate's going to talk a little bit more about what we are offering and how to get your community involved. Thanks, everyone, and take it away, Kate.
Thank you so much, Julie and Victoria, and thank you all for attending this webinar. I'm very, very excited to be a part of this webinar and this kickoff of what I think is going to really be a bridge, no pun intended, between communities and improving transportation safety using education as that means. I know that many of you out there are already in communities that are trying to improve active transportation, but all types of transportation are necessary to connect people to where they need to go, to have a balanced and equitable and sustainable community. Safety and access for people of all ages and abilities, who, whether they walk, they bike, they use transit, or they drive vehicles is so important. And this Safe Routes Academy is going to improve transportation safety through community education. So our program goal with the Safe Routes Academy, it's an adult education and training opportunity offered by the Ohio Department of Transportation Safe Routes to School program through the local technical assistance or LTAP program. So our goal is to improve active transportation safety, implementation, accessibility, and sustainability throughout Ohio. We hope to achieve this by providing communities with training on the methods, programs, projects, policies that can help your community reach its active transportation goals. So how is that going to happen? Communities sometimes run into barriers when it comes to non-infrastructure actions and program implementation. They may be inexperienced with this implementation or unfamiliar with the processes, the activities, and the programs that are out there, or not even knowing where to begin to find these tried and true resources and which ones would be right for their community. Also, finding experienced trainers or conducting this training on programs and processes that they may not be as familiar with as others can be a daunting process. So the Safe Routes Academy is going to provide training and workshops through a grant-funded application and award process that's going to be open to all Ohio communities to implement Safe Routes to School, active transportation programs through those non-infrastructure actions: education, encouragement, enforcement, and evaluation programs, planning, and policy advancement. And as Julie said, it will be an expanding program, so infrastructure techniques will also be added. But right now, these non-infrastructure opportunities are well within the grasp of training and implementation, and there are some great Ohio resources out there that we're going to be highlighting in just a few minutes. So by offering a field of these Train the Trainer and adult ed programs, we hope communities are going to gain this valuable knowledge from experienced facilitators. They're going to be provided or be introduced to toolkits and resources to begin that implementation in their communities, and that these workshops will be an arena for community members to ask questions and to network and develop team relationships in their community and gain this firsthand experience that will build confidence and elevate the likelihood of achieving these Safe Routes to School and active transportation goals. So there are two types of workshops that are going to be offered. The first type is Train the Trainer. Train the Trainer programs are going to educate individuals to actually teach a topic to other adults or to conduct a program in their community as that expert instructor. This category of workshops currently includes walking school bus training, crossing guard training, Girls in Gear, which is a girl-specific bicycling empowerment program, which is very exciting, and then conducting a school walk audit. The other type of workshops that are currently offered are implementation workshops, which are a little different in that they teach like skills, processes, and techniques to implement Safe Routes to School education, encouragement, policy, and planning in the classroom or in a school or a district or a community. So this first set of implementation workshops includes, these are also workshops, that reference Ohio Department of Transportation resources and guidance that is currently available. These include Safe Routes to School lesson plans, which are age-appropriate K-8 lessons and education activities that align with Ohio's academic content standards. There is school travel plan development, which references ODOT's school travel plan guidance and template, and non-infrastructure implementation, which is ODOT's most recent resource that focuses on a variety of successful education, encouragement, enforcement, and evaluation programs, projects, and resources. Also available in these implementation workshops are workshops that will assist the broader school, district, or community with policy and planning. They include the Safety and Active Transportation School and Community Planning, which is based on ODOT's Safety and Active Transportation resource, and another workshop that is incorporating safe routes to school into wellness, school, and community policy and planning. So do you want to learn more about these workshops? Well, we've got it for you. Details about each of these workshops, including descriptions, learning outcomes, suggested attendees, and the application requirements and processes will be located on ODOT's LTAP Safe Routes Academy webpage in PDF format for easy access, printing, and sharing. And they will also be located in the online application itself as a link so that you can read the description and then go and learn more about each one of these workshops, which is very exciting. So now that we know more about what the Safe Routes Academy is, we want to know more about how to apply for these workshops. These workshops, some of the frequently asked questions or some of the most important facts to keep into consideration is that this is a statewide rolling application. And this process is going to be run through the Ohio's LTAP, and it's based on available funds and also based on instructor scheduling availability. So after your application is submitted and awarded, a workshop instructor is going to contact you about to schedule your workshop, and that will be based on your availability and the instructor availability. Your workshop is not scheduled until your application is awarded and the instructor finalizes the date and the location with you. Eligible applicants include local government and jurisdictions, including schools, districts, local and regional government, health departments, and MPOs and RPOs, and nonprofits may apply if they partner with one of these local jurisdictions. Finally, the instruction is free to the applicant, but other considerations you might need to keep in mind, including attendee registration and location fees, refreshments, that kind of thing, are the responsibility of the applicant. I am really, really excited and proud to be part of the Safe Routes Academy because it is unique among adult training opportunities around the nation and in Ohio. In addition to the skills that we hope attendees are going to learn, the benefits include an application menu that offers the opportunity to bundle these trainings. So you will see that there are contact hours suggested on the application, and if, let's say, you want to offer 2 different types of workshops or more, you can request that, and then we can work on a schedule that will fill those needs and be able to bundle them to save some money and to be able to bring people together, in a very uniform way. CEUs and professional development credits will also be available. And this rolling application means that you can apply for these workshops at any time. So this allows for flexible implementation. Communities can work together, organizations can work together. You can plan and think about when your needs are for these types of trainings and apply as soon as possible so that they can get on the schedule, but you can apply for the workshops now and have them implemented at a later date. Whether you are planning one or a series of workshops, there are real benefits to reaching out to others in your community. And we can tell by the folks that responded to attending this workshop that there are people from all sectors of communities that are interested in creating safer communities, safer active transportation, and healthier communities and more connected communities. So there are different sectors out there that are interested in maybe providing some of these workshops. So reaching out to others in your community can help communities, school districts, health, and advocacy to work together to provide these trainings. Especially regional training opportunities can offer these opportunities to a whole area at a minimal local cost. Networking opportunities with other organizations, communities, sectors, and just folks around your area can help strengthen collaboration, not only for active transportation, but maybe for other things down the road. And finally, developing these relationships helps strengthen these partnerships and with current and new organizations so that we can move forward and make our communities the best they can be. So now we've learned a little bit more about the Safe Routes Academy, so let's take a peek at this online application and what information is needed. So remember, if you're awarded, you will be contacted to finalize the scheduling of your workshop or workshops. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the application. Okay, so I hope everyone can see the online application process, the online application. The Safe Routes Academy logo is at the top of that of the screen. And really the application is very, very simple. There's some information about what the Safe Routes Academy is, who can apply, and this is general who can apply, information. So, you definitely can reach out if you're a nonprofit to partner with a local jurisdiction. Who should attend is also pretty generalized. When we look at some of the circuit rider flyers that describe each workshop in detail, there will be more specific suggestions on who should attend these types of workshops. Professional development credit will be offered. And then we have a brief description of each of the Train the Trainer programs and the implementation programs. So there's a couple sentences about what each of the workshops offered, as well as contact hours that are suggested. And as you will see, each one of these workshops has a link to a flyer for more details, and we can just look at that real quick. So each of our workshops has a flyer that is similar to this, that highlights the description of what the workshops are, what the training outcomes are for each of the workshops, who you should invite, and then a link to the application process. In addition to these links for the flyers, as we get down into some of the areas, for example, the implementation programs, there is sometimes a reference that you can also look at. For example, the school lesson plans are also available online, and you can look at them right now and see what types of lessons are out there and whether, what classes would be appropriate to bring to your community. So the lesson guides are listed here on ODOT's Every Move You Make Education and Encouragement page. So you just scroll down. You can click on whichever lesson guide you would like to look at. If you want to look at them all, they're all there. You can download them and get more information and share that with others. So you can learn a little bit more about each one of the 9 workshops that are available. And then there is also some information that is our LTAP suggestions and requirements when it comes to scheduling these workshops, as well as contact information on any questions you might have, either regarding the workshops or the application process. So that brings us to the actual application, which is incredibly simple. The first thing you're going to want to do is choose the types of trainings you want. And there are buttons here. You just check off the ones you want. Let's say you're looking at walking school bus training and maybe a crossing guard training program. And then maybe you want to do a non-infrastructure training as well. You can click as many or as few as you would like. Scheduling, again, they are not scheduled until they are awarded, and the instructor can schedule them at dates and times that are good for both you and the instructor. So you would go through and check what you would like. And then this is very important. We're looking to make sure that we can accommodate as many communities as possible in time allowed. So we would need a first, second, and third choice for requested training dates for these workshops, along with an estimated number of attendees. That would really help us during the application review to be able to make decisions based on the dates and the number of attendees that will be there. The rest of the information is very basic. We just need a name, a contact name, title, school or district or agency that is applying for this, their address, the contact person's phone number and email. So this will be the person that will be contacted to schedule and work through these workshops. And then providing any other pertinent details regarding your request. For example, is this a regional, is this 5 different communities that are banding together to offer similar trainings because all their communities need it, so that they're hosting a larger workshop and supporting this at their local community? Or are you an MPO who wants to offer this to all the communities in your footprint, in your region? This is the kind of information that would be very helpful to us. And once you fill all those things out, click Submit the Form, and the form will be submitted to LTAP, and the review process will begin. So that is the application. Okay, so hopefully we are back to the slides, and really where we're at right now is the question and answer period. We've gone through what the Safe Routes Academy is. We've reviewed how to apply, and so we would like to hear from you. What are the questions that you might have? You can either type them into chat or unmute yourself using *6 on your phone, and we will get to as many questions as possible in the time allowed, and it appears we've got plenty of time to answer questions, so let's hear from you.
Kate, it does look like we have one question that's being typed in.
I
They want to know
see
if we
it.
can get a copy of the slides. I'll actually, while Kate is answering additional questions, go ahead and load a copy into a file share box here on the webinar, and that way you can just download it.
And in addition to that, this webinar is being recorded, and that recording will be made available at a later date for anyone to be able to review, but that you can also go back and review. Any other questions?
This is Julie. I don't have a question, but I would like to say for everyone listening, in the future, if there are classes that you would like to request, things that we don't already have on our slate, like I said, we are planning on adding more classes in the future. Just let us know what you think would be pertinent to what you're doing, and we can look into those types of courses as well.
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, we are always looking for new, what communities' needs are and how to fill those gaps in order to advance, safety, active transportation, and safe routes to school. So we want to hear from you. Les also has another question. Is there a fee for the webinars? Not to my knowledge. Victoria?
This is Julie. I'll take that question. First of all, Les, they're not all webinars. So most of the training is going to be face-to-face training, and there's no charge for that training. But as we get to further on and we do start adding webinars, there won't be a charge for the webinars either.
The PowerPoint has now been loaded into the file share box, so if you want to download that, you just need to click on the name of the file in the file share box, and then you'll click the download file button at the bottom of that file share pod, and it'll take you through the process of downloading that PDF to your device.
Great.
Are there any other questions for our presenters? We do still have over a half an hour left. Looks like we've got another one coming in via the chat pod. And if you'd like to ask the questions over the phone, you can press *6 or #6 to unmute your phone line to ask the question directly.
Jordan's question is whether or not ODOT is going to be hosting any of these trainings. The idea is for the communities to request the training, so any community that requests the training will go to those communities. However, I know that you're in Central Ohio. If you wanted to have some here at ODOT, we can certainly arrange that as well. When will all of the flyers and lesson plans be on your website? And I don't know that all the lesson plans are up, but I think that the flyers are already posted. Is that correct, Victoria?
Yes, all the flyers are posted, and you can click on the link to the flyer through the application.
So I don't know that the lesson plans are going to be posted as far as what we'll be teaching in the courses, but the books and the materials for the courses will definitely be posted.
We've got another question coming into the chat pod. Well, it looked like we did. If you do have additional questions once the webinar has concluded, you can feel free to contact. There is contact information on the presentation itself, and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. If anyone would like to just ask the question directly, they can feel free to unmute their phone line by pressing *6 or #6, and then you can speak with our presenters directly.
To answer Caitlin Cohn's question about the K through 8 classroom teacher, the lesson plans, the classroom teachers certainly are more than welcome to use those, but we also see those as educational programs that can be used in after-school activities as well. So it's not limited to an educational environment, but it can certainly be used that way because they are written to Ohio educational standards.
It looks like Kate Harley said, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Kate Harley asked when the applications when you can start applying for the webinar, for the workshop series, and I believe it's live. We will share that link and information. It is, I don't know, Victoria, are we going to replace the webinar link with maybe the application link on the LTAP website?
Yes, once we're finished this morning, we will. But the link is available in the presentation, and you could be one of the first to apply if you'd like to click in there this morning.
And Les wanted, go ahead. Les wanted to know how to download the webinar, the PDF. Just click on it, and a little box will pop up at right underneath it that says download the files, and you should be able to download them that way. And Caitlin wants to know what Ohio education standards do the lesson plans meet. Those are actually listed in the lesson plan themselves, and those are currently online, and we can certainly send out the link to those. So you can look. There are 3 different sets of lesson guides, and they meet a variety of different standards. So it will be hard to list them all right now.
Some of those standards include writing, science, social studies. So they are standards that are relevant to the day-to-day education needs of a classroom.
And I'm going to type in the link to those, to most of our educational material if anyone wants to go and take a look at that right now.
Great.
Kate wants to know what the turnaround time is and when training can begin. That's going to be, we can begin anytime, but that's going to be a negotiation between the instructor and the community requesting the training.
While Jane is finishing up her comment that she's typing in the chat box, you had also asked about what's the application turnaround time. When you submit your application, it not only comes directly to the LTAP Center, but it also goes to the instructor. So I would say just as soon as the instructor picks up the information out of her email, she'll be in contact with you concerning, getting something scheduled. It is incredibly helpful if you do provide first, second, and third choices for dates, because that speeds up the process, does it not, Kate, when you're scheduling sessions?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and keep in mind too, this is these are first come, first serve, scheduling. So the sooner you get in, or the longer lead time, or the more flexibility you have in your dates, the better odds you have of being able to get the workshop when you want it.
Never met a group that was so shy about unmuting their phones. But if anyone out there would like to, you can definitely press *6 or #6 to unmute your phone and ask questions live. I know we do still have a couple more comments, it looks like, coming into the chat pod, and I want to give those individuals an opportunity to finish asking their questions. After the webinar is completed and we have a copy of the recorded webinar posted, we will send a link out to everyone. So if you missed something or have questions, you'll be able to watch the portion of the webinar that will explain what it is you have a question on. Or if nothing else, at least get the contact information from this final portion of the webinar to be able to send additional questions into us. Okay. It looked like we had questions coming into the chat pod, but they haven't come in. Oh, there we go.
Okay, Jane says our health department is working on safe routes to school, and she was curious, would we get trained and then train others? We wanted to perform such duties for wellness aspects such as the walking school bus. Yes, some of the training does work in that specific manner, and you would be able to do that. And then there are other trainings that, well, no, actually, Kate, that's not true. All of the trainings work in that manner. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. And what we hope to do is give communities the tools with which to finish the process of creating walking school buses or implementing non-infrastructure programs. So the trainers are specific to training people to do walking school buses and to train others to be walking school bus leaders. That's an example.
Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the webinar this morning. If you do have any questions that you weren't able to get into the chat pod before we ended, you can feel free to email those to us at LTAP at dot.state.oh.us that's shown on the screen, and we'll make certain that those questions are forwarded to our presenters, and then we will also work to post a Q&A document along with this webinar link, so that way everyone who was able to attend the webinar this morning will also receive a copy of that question and answer document. So thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to our presenters. We're excited about starting the new Safe Routes Academy here in Ohio, and we are so pleased that you're all going to be our partners in this process. Julie and Kate, anything, final comments you'd like to make?
No, I'm fine. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from all of you.
Thank you.